Hi everyone, welcome to the Heart of Illumination. I'm Joseph. Today our topic is going to be embrace the suck. Yeah, I really like this theme. It's a little edgy, right? So embrace the suck. I think I heard this idea a little while ago, and usually maybe from podcasts or entrepreneurs, right? Embrace the suck. But really, it's kind of a fact of life, right? One of the eternal truth of life is that everything changes. So basically, is embrace change, embrace the suck that usually relates with change, and then embrace change and suck, and embrace the good things of change. So embrace change, embrace the suck, embrace becoming, embrace the joy or the gift of becoming. So I want to tie all three of those ideas together versus just the single theme of embrace the suck. But you betcha I'm going to use this as the headline for this video because it's a little edgy and a lot of people are like, oh my god, what the hell is embrace the suck? So, but for me, I tend to create wholeness of ideas when I receive new pieces of information. That's something that I've developed as I went through my journey. Because one of the things I realized is going through life, learning different things from school, from people, from courses I pay for, from various encounters with good teachers and so forth. Even with the best intentions, even if they're really gray, even if you're sitting through a whole week of the course or a several week long retreat, some ideas, and I take responsibility for it, as well as maybe the teacher is on their path, right? But some ideas come in and they're very specific, right? It's just one single idea. And what I've learned is it is part of my discernment or part of my internal practice to connect that idea and make it whole within myself. And those steps we'll cover later on in this channel. But whenever I receive an idea, I notice before I started going on my journey and start expanding my awareness, when I take the idea, one of the bad habits I had was take it face value. And then when I took ideas from other people at face value, it usually come with taking on the burdens. I took on other people's false beliefs about that idea, or whatever you could call it, traumatic energy that they've had with the idea. Or it could be, even with the best intention, they have their own unique filter about that idea. So when I took things face value, and this, we all do that, and I've done that when I was a kid, and earlier on when I was in my self-discovery journey, or when I was learning something new, completely new, and that's okay. I'm here to say it's okay. We all do that. It's part of it. And as we become more aware, of ourselves, and we become more aware of the world and how the world is, this specific part of receiving information, the grander area of learning and absorbing information and absorbing transmission, it gets refined. But I wanted to just hit on that quickly. We'll dive into this another time. So the key thing of this video is embrace change. It comes with some sucking. Yeah, it comes with some sucking. Yet, why do we go through change? It's so that we can be more of ourselves and we can demonstrate our potential to be more of ourselves. Not for the world, because as we change and become more of ourselves, our surrounding benefits, the world benefits, and the people immediately around us benefit. So So it's always for the good of the whole. So I guess one of the key things is when we embrace the suck, yes, be aware of the suck. Be aware there's a part that maybe we have to deal with the resistance that's within ourselves. Maybe we have to deal with self-criticalness, our mind, our thoughts, the feelings that come with those thoughts, the self-criticism, right? Resistance, self-criticism, and maybe just inertia, right? It's like, oh, for the last month, I've been feeling a little low energy, for example, or I just don't really want to get up in the morning. It's okay. That phase will change. Your body will change. And when the door opens up to that you're a little bit more energized than yesterday, oh, that's the change, right? Sometimes it's a little bit, but that little bit is the exponential change. And so we also we go on this self-development journey or spiritual journey so that we can make these shifts instantly, right? So it's okay that our body might have been a little restless for a month, but the day after that month, I feel a little bit more energized. Wow, I can shift my thoughts, my focus, my mind, my emotions to be like, whoa, this is the exponential gift that's here right now. Let me just expand it for myself. And there you go. You created more energy out of that little seed, little kernel of greater energy, right? Just by not feeling so sluggish, that's the energy. Just by, for the last month, it took me an hour just to get out of bed, for example. But today, I opened my eyes, the cat, for example, the cat is knocking on the door, and I really want to go pet the cat. That's a little gift of energy. So let me just expand on the good, right? So a lot of self-development and spirituality is also to focus on what's working, continue to expand that focus, right? To wrap around all this gratitude and all this stuff around it so you stay focused, so that in a way you're watering this seed. You just planted, or either you or the universe gave you a seed that was planted, more energy. And so what you have to do is, with your focus, water it. With your expansion in terms of gratitude or various practices, nourish it, give it some feed. And then how do you amplify it? Right, you amplify it by just being, I take ownership of this energy or this plant, in a way, committing to this energy, committing to taking care of this plant, and then that grows. So we don't have to focus on the suck, just to know that, part of it will involve suck. Part of taking care of a plant might be that part of the suck is that, it's not growing that fast. It's not growing that fast. But that's your mind telling you it's not growing that fast. The plant is going to grow however it's going to grow. But embracing the suck in that part is to regulate your own external or your own internal expectation of how the plant needs to grow. It's doing its own thing. So then let those expectations go, and then maybe the plant grows a little bit more and it's a little weaker, right? One of the leaves is browning, more withered than the others, and you're like, oh no, you care about it and you want it to do better. But part of that suck of growing the plant is, this specific plant is a little weaker, so you need to just keep nourishing it with water, with feed, and maybe watch some YouTube videos or take some courses on how to better take care of a plant, right? So the suck is not really a suck. It's not really a suck. It's a moment. So it could be, if you focus on the suck, it will expand. But the suck is to tell you, this plant needs a little more care. So can you drop the suck, right? Your expectations, your how you want to apply how this plant grows, but then focus on the other side of this of the essence of the suck, right? You care about this plant. That's why you had these expectations. That's why you wanted to do well. So focus on the care. Oh, let me become a better gardener, or better botanist. Yeah, better botanist, and learn how to take care of a plant, right? Maybe it can't be in the sun for the whole day. Maybe I give it some sun when I wake up for a couple hours, and then put it behind some shade so that it can take care of itself. So that's the analogy. So yes, so part of this new year, right? And my last video was about New Year's resolution. If those work for you, great. If not, no worries. Whatever works for you, whatever project, initiative you want to achieve, align with yourself, create whatever plan, or create a couple tasks for yourself that is in alignment with achieving those the goal of that initiative. Then go do it, and then just know that you can hold this idea of embracing the suck, and the suck, as you continue to go on your development journey and knowing yourself, the suck is just a signal for what is good and what's the gift. And then embrace change, right? And then change will allow you to master moments of embracing the suck and converting it into seeing that it's a gift. And then also sometimes the gift, maybe it becomes a suck. Not that the gift, it's just how it makes sense to use these words to say. The gift becomes a suck because it's time for a change, right? So maybe you think you created a system. So you created a system to work that allows you to work 10 hours a week. But yet, something in you is like, oh, someone wrote a book about 4-hour work week? I can do that. So now, what used to be the gift of maybe you work 40 hours a week before, then you created a system of only working 16 hours a week, and you were good with that for a while. But then you're like, oh, no. Someone has done it, only working 4 hours a week. So that moment of suck is to realize there's better opportunities out there, or there's a greater version of you, or something like that. Yeah, let's create a system that's 4 hours a week, working only 4 hours a week. Then I can spend more time surfing, doing things I like, spending it with my pets or my family. Great. Now it becomes a new gift, or the transition of you creating, shifting your system from 16 hours a week to 4 hours a week, that becomes a gift. So the process of change, embracing change, is always these little shifts. Sometimes it's a little bit faster, sometimes it's a little slower. And I know in our current modern environment, modern society, everybody wants it to go really fast. It's not like that, right? When we're in tune with ourselves, with our own rhythm, these processes will naturally unfold in our rhythm. And it's not always ideal to go fast. And when we go at our rhythm, there's a lot of gems, a lot of great experiences, and a lot of, let's say, new skills and new intangible skills that we develop during that natural shift. And so those are some of the key ideas that are coming through today. So embrace the joy, the gift, and the greater alignment of change, and at times embrace the suck, because those are the signals. So until next time, Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment on this video down below. Your feedback is valuable so that I know what information you would like to hear more of and that I can expand on. Until next time.